the Lady Anne's Way, 100 miles from Skipton to Penrith. Sad to be leaving. Beyond Appleby is where I'm going today, but it's my main target, and apparently it's 12 miles and 2 furlongs. Of course, the way I'm going is more like 20. But it's just interesting to see the old sign. That's an impressive building for Costa. And who do we have here? Well, as it happens, it's Lady Anne out for a walk. So if you're doing the coast to coast, you follow this same route. So the moment we're sharing with the coast to coast. This is Frank's Bridge, and Frank lived there, or worked there, because that was the brewery, and he built this in the 17th century. I'm turning left, so going this way. Well, that would be the way you would go. If you was doing the coast to coast. And interestingly, at this point, the coast to coast obviously has still got quite a long way to go, more than halfway to go. Whereas I've actually probably only got a third to go. I've got 2 more days left after a schedule of 6. It appears we're sharing with Alfred Wainwright again on this Pennine journey. AW. And of course we're following the Lady Anne sign. This is the small village I'm going through. I don't understand why it has a kangaroo. Maybe somebody knows and can drop me a line. However, I'm also interested in the school. Anthony Moorland, yeoman of Rookeby, left £50 to this school, with which a field called Samworth was purchased, the yearly income of which is to be paid to the master, thereof yearly forever, March the 7th, 1793. Okay, I am confused. I won't say I'm lost, because I know exactly where I am on the map. I just can't believe the Lady Anne Way takes you this way. And there's no mention of a ford. I've just kind of scouted up and down the field to try and see if there's a bridge, and I can't see anything. Oh, I think I'm just going to have to get my feet wet. It's not so much getting my feet wet that I'm worried about, it's how slippy the rocks will be. Right, hope you don't mind, but I'm going to put you away. I can concentrate on the task in hand. I can get my small camera out. Well, that was fun. Or maybe not. Thank goodness for waterproof shoes. I am a bit wet, but not as bad as I thought I was going to get, so okay on that front. But it's very confusing around here. I don't know what's going wrong. In the end, I was just frustrated with how much time I was wasting, because I've not got a lot of time today. I've got to do 20 miles and it's going to be hot later on as well, so need to crack on. See you later. Hope to see some lady and signs soon to get confirmation I'm back on track. I do have the guidebook with me, and I can't believe that I didn't stop sooner and work out exactly what was going wrong. So if you do use the hiker app for this particular walk, as it comes out of Kelper, the route on the app is wrong, and you need to make sure you follow the guide, because looking at the guide and the map in it, it's a hell of a lot easier than what I just did. I'm a bit annoyed with myself for almost having too much confidence in the app. I usually do check these things out and compare the guidebook to the app, but I didn't spot that one. Done about 5 miles, about another 15 to go, although we will be in Appleby sooner, because my plan is I'm walking to Appleby and then to get to a campsite is 4 miles beyond Appleby, making it 20 for the day. Okay, no more talking, and there's nothing to look at, is there? So I'll see you later. There you go, we're back on track. Thank goodness for that. So according to the map, we should be able to see a castle soon. Oh wow. I'm sure we'll see more of the castle later on, although I'll just zoom in a minute. Don't miss this. To get across the road and to walk alongside it on the other side. Again, the app actually goes along the main road. Use the guidebook. So I just spotted this as I was coming down the road. There's no signs or anything as to what it is or why it's here. Very odd. Well, apparently we go through someone's garden here by the looks of it. Let's see what happens. Is that it there? Where am I going? Okay. Maybe not that way. I'm confused. Oh, there we go, over there. So this just misses out a bit of road walking. But I have to emphasise it is only a little bit. You think people who own that property will put a few more signs up just so you don't end up wandering around their garden. As you can see, we're out in the country, having left Walk Up, and in this kind of like a drover's road almost. Well, I like how the fact it's well sheltered. So sheltered from the sun and sheltered from the rain and the wind. It's dead cool. At the moment, as I'm walking across the fields, it's really hot. So this is a welcome relief. Found a lovely spot in the shade. Yep, it's 25 degrees out there. Not ideal hiking weather. But yep, this is my view. The only thing is, I can see the A66. And then I thought, so what is that hill over there? It's like a step down. And appropriately enough, it's called Roman Fell. And that kind of connects it to the A66. That used to be a Roman road as well. All the way to Penrith, where there was a Roman fort, and in fact there was one at Appleby as well. So yeah, I guess that would have been the connection. So we're trying to get over to Appleby, and I don't know, maybe 6 more miles, maybe less, hopefully less. If only there could be more of those signs. Opposite direction to where I'm going to, but I think that should be pointing the other way actually. Yes, we're alongside the River Eden now, and we're following the River Eden to Appleby. And I have actually done this route before, on this Cecil Carlisle route, so I know it's like this quite a bit of the way. But luckily I've got some shade. The entrance to Appleby Castle. And a picture of Lady Anne. That little note here says, when Appleby and the other Clifford castles eventually came to her, she challenged Cromwell to stop her rebuilding them. For nearly 30 years she dominated the Westmorland scene, restoring churches and castles and deciding who would be Member of Parliament and Mayor for Appleby. Ooh, and a tavern. If only. I still need to do about 4 more miles, and that's beyond. So this cross here is called High Cross, and not surprisingly there's one further down called Low Cross. Yep, that's where we're hoping to camp tonight. Or I should say later this afternoon. Whew. Right, just get through the stile. It's on a nice little campsite. Mainly for tourists and caravans. In fact, I am the only tent here. It's £10. Morning folks. Well, I can recommend the campsite at Long Marton. Yeah, if you're ever this way over, good campsite. I think it was £10 a night. It's even just £15 a night for a two-person tent. So yeah, good value for money, especially given the quality of everything. So yeah, comes highly recommended from me. This morning the walk's going to be about 15 miles to get me through to Penrith. The main thing is getting to the castle just outside Penrith. That is the main castle where she spent most of her time, Lady Anne. So yep, that's where we're heading this morning. About 6:30 in the morning. Sun's not out yet, but I believe it's going to be another hot day. In fact, looking at the weather forecast, another 1 or 2 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. Hence, I got up very early, or as early as I could within reason, to get started while it's still cool. Right, I must crack on while it's cool. I wonder if the sun's actually going to get out of that cloud. I think luckily for me, it'll be a few hours before it does. I guess if you're into fishing, great place to stay. King's Arm at Temple Sowerby. Finally we get to the destination, or the reason we've been following this path is to go over this sandstone bridge here. I have seen signs before about your dog could be shot. I have always wondered, so it's the Animals Act of 1971, protection of livestock against dog. Thanks for the information. This actually looks like it's abandoned. Although, as you can see, the lawn's been cut in the middle. I guess we're coming up to the bridge that was noted on the wall. Well, for some reason this cow is trying to be very friendly. Great, we're getting near our final destination. Probably about another mile to do. Well, we finally arrived at Skipton Castle, 100 miles away from Skipton Castle where we started. This was the castle where Lady Anne probably spent most of her time and actually died in these walls of this castle at the grand old age of 86. So she had quite a journey as well, travelling between all the different castles that we have also visited. And obviously she did all the hard work of restoring them as well. And that's why we see a lot of the castles as we do now. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as I have, and certainly appreciate your company and support. So please do subscribe if you have the time. Right, I must be going. Places to go, trails to do. All the best.